What's stress to a mind when you dealing with a broken heart?
This is for the ones.
Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of Mindful Men Communicate. This is your host, Vida, the specialist, and here we
Hi
have.
guys, my name is Alexis Rodriguez, and I'm from Jacksonville, Florida, and I've been living here since 2016. I'm professionally an IT person, so I work on software development. But my true passion is acting, and I've been acting since I got to Jacksonville. The local community here in Jacksonville are amazing people. And that's pretty much it.
I'm Laki. I'm an artist, gospel artist, spoken word, poetry. Getting into the acting field, behind the scenes recording, a little rusty, but I'm getting shown the ropes as I go. And I'm just glad to be here. I'm just glad to be a part of what's, Miss Vida, the specialist, has going on. So I'm really excited about tonight.
And I am Adam Brian Dada. I'm an executive producer out of Chicago, and I am the enemy of common wisdom. So I pretty much go against the grain full time, 24/7. And I'm glad to be here with you, Vida, and Alex and Laki.
Well, thank you guys for introducing yourselves. This is really amazing. I want to start off, you guys know how I am. I go straight to the point. And just wanted to let you know, Lucky, you weren't here when I said that, but some ladies saw our first episode and they wanted to ask us some questions. So That's our forte today. Answer those questions, and we're gonna get into two very important topics that I feel that you guys as men can break it down and give advice to the men that are out there doing foolishness. First question is, when you get angry or overwhelmed, what do you do to calm yourself down and be honest?
I do to calm myself down. Well, immediately being a man of belief, prayer is the first thing. I go to scripture. If that's not gonna work, a good outlet, depending on what it is that has me ticked off, is any source of reading, any source of relaxation, something that takes my mind off it. But spending time with the family, my daughters, children, is always a good outlet. You'll see a lot of yourself in children. You'll see a lot of your habits, and it kind of paints the scene of how God looks at us. Like, when you see little people act exactly like you, same mannerisms, same temperaments, everything, like it'll really calm you down and make you feel like, all right, maybe I'm acting like a child. Like I can see, you can really see little human beings in children. So I think they are a good go-to if you want to see why we're so like we are, So yeah, I would say that.
You're Cuban. I'm interested. How do you calm down?
I'm Cuban, right? So I think I'm a very logical person by foundation. So my background is a lot of IT, so it's logic and trying to solve problems. And I think that really gets kind of like built into your system, and what doesn't make any logic, then you just try to scratch it, right? Then I started started getting involved into acting, and I kind of joined the spiritual side of it and the soul and all these beautiful concepts that makes you a human being. It's a combination of things, and I've learned with time that being angry about it doesn't provide any value to yourself or your present time, your state. And I came to this realization after reading a book by, I don't know if you guys know him, his name is Jack Canfield, and he wrote a book. He's the co-author of Chicken Soup for the Soul. So I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's kind of like motivational book. I read a book that is called 67 Success Principles to get from where you are to what you want to be. And the first principle changed my life completely. And it was, there is no reason to complain. So there's a formula, which is how you act to an event produce an outcome, right? And that outcome is literally a consequence of how you act to a specific event. So I decide to not act wrongly to an event, whatever that might be, that could put me in a stress position, right? So I just don't complain because it doesn't produce any good outcome for yourself, and that's kind of logic. If you look from the logic point of view, that kind of makes sense, right? But if you take a deeper level and start talking about how you feel and the energy, and if you're stressed, you go spot energy, right? And you kind of like spread that around. So you don't want to do that. And so I try to, calm myself, and I say it doesn't make any sense for me to be mad at this point, because that doesn't give me any positive value, right? Either swear or be mad at someone, or it doesn't give me any value. It just stresses me out, and I feel bad. My body feels bad. And who wants to feel bad? No one wants to feel bad, right?
You're Cuban. Cubans have this infamous thing. They say that you guys are sexist and very short-tempered. I've met only 3 Cubans that I've been close with, like you, and those 3 Cubans have been sweethearts. So I don't know where the infamous quote comes from, although I did learn it in Puerto Rico. So it may be a Hispanic thing. I don't know. Now, your answer kind of sounds a little bit like Adam's. Adam's, in the first episode, he said, well, I am patient. And sometimes when you just wait, you're just not mad at all anymore. Like, it just doesn't matter. And he also mentioned that if it's someone that's making you mad, just write down who, where, why, and when. You see, I wrote that down. That was a good tip for me.
Right. I think we are temperamental, and I can speak generally, right? I think we're loud. We came from a very kind of get together, family oriented, and everyone is just cousin of cousins, and everyone, it's always something going on with your family or with the family of your family. We just a big nucleus, right? All the time, like the majority of it. I can speak for everyone. And just being the fact that when you're being loud, sometimes you're not realizing that you're not listening to other people. You're not giving opportunities to other people to speak. And I think it comes down to what your values are, what were you taught, and how you approaching the learning curve that signifies, when you're talking to someone, it provides a lot of value to listen to them, right?
Yeah.
Because when you're talking, you're just reaffirming what you know. But when you're talking to people like you guys, I'm learning. I have people like that in my family. My cousin is like the loudest guy in the room. He would just like yell all the time, and he's just talking. His father is the same way, and big part of my family it is. I think it's a cultural thing. That's positive. That's 100%. But it varies from people to people.
You did spoke levels there, because you said something about, we are loud. If I had to, if I would be a millionaire right now, if I charged for how many times my boyfriend has told me, can you please lower your voice? Why, I'm right here. He's like, it's just the way I was raised. It's just how I am. I will talk loud because I want you to hear what I got to say. And I want to make sure that it doesn't matter in what tone I say it, you're going to hear it the first time. I don't got to repeat myself, depending on how you see it. I see it that way. I think it's a quality, and it's good and it's beautiful for business. Now, question for you, Adam. One of the ladies asked, when you think about your life, what are 2 things of the biggest moments that stick out to you that brought you happiness?
Seeing emotion in people who otherwise are emotionally closed off. Emotion may be focused towards me, has always brought me happiness. and it doesn't necessarily mean happy emotion. Sometimes the most stoic men in my life have always been stoic, but when they show an emotion of any kind that I can attribute to something I did, has always brought me happiness, because it means that we stoics can still enjoy human interaction. So I think that's probably number one. Another pile of memories is when a loved one passes away, having completed life full circle. I think a lot of times we are sad that they're gone, but I think it's a celebration and a blessing when someone's life comes to a completion and they've done all the things that they really needed to do, not necessarily
Absolutely.
wanted. As a man, I think being stoic should be our default. Especially, we shouldn't be throwing our emotions away for what the TV tells us to, because our sports team lost, or our politician didn't win, or something bad happened in the media that didn't affect us, didn't affect anyone we know, is never going to affect us. And we get mad about it. We get sad about it. The best TV shows are ones that bring out emotion in the viewer. So I think when a stoic man shows a piece of emotion, truthful, honest emotion, I think that's something to celebrate, because we can't, as a society, shut it down and say, well, you're never that way. So I think my two greatest memories are probably that, mentors of mine who showed emotion due to something I did, and just celebrating life for someone who lived the full circle of it. And a lot of us will never live full circle.
Oh, that is
Life might not be,
beautiful.
yeah, but life might not be about having a great job, or it might not even be about having kids. It might not be about paying off your mortgage. It could be about who knows what.
It
I can't
affects people
define.
differently.
Sure.
Right.
Another question. Now that you told me those two things, what can you tell to men that are in pursuit of happiness? Tell me one thing that they could do to have that enlightenment.
Don't pursue happiness. Pursue a goal. Pursue a goal. And when you reach that goal, celebrate it by doing something that makes you happy. I don't get happy from business success. It doesn't make me happy. Business success is a goal. And when I reach a goal, I'll take myself out. Maybe I'll go paddle boarding. Maybe I'll go skateboarding. Maybe I'll, go out with a friend, have a piece of pizza or a glass of wine. I don't do those things when I don't have something to celebrate. That's for sure. Life is about generating emotions in ourselves that are accurate to what we've accomplished or not accomplished. And it's okay to be sad, and it's even okay to be angry at yourself when you fail at reaching a goal or a milestone. That's okay. That's an acceptable emotion. Get it out of your system. But when you succeed, don't be happy over the success. Celebrate the success by doing something that makes you happy.
That's exactly what I do, but I could have never put it in better words. But yeah, what you just said right now, when you accomplish something that you had as a goal, just the little details. You don't even have to make a big party to celebrate. One time I had this little accomplishment, and I made myself a little bubble bath, and I put a little glass of white wine right next to me, and grapes, because I saw it in movies. And I was like, I'm gonna treat myself like the ladies that are gonna take bubble baths in movies. That's what I'm gonna do right now. And I enjoyed it, and it made me feel good, and I didn't spend a cent on it, but it made me happy.
Too often, though, we celebrate what's normal, and I don't think we should. I don't think we should celebrate that we made it through today, through work. I don't think we should celebrate, oh, I worked all day, I succeeded at work, I'm going to go have a couple of beers. I don't think that's a success. I don't think that is. I paid all my bills.
I agree.
I feel that's like living for the weekend.
It's not reaching a goal. When you reach a goal, it's a goal you have specified. I'm going to paint the garage. I'm going to fix my car brakes or change my oil. That's a goal that you made. You don't wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to get through work today. No, you get through work because work is a responsibility.
There is a lot of people that just, and we talk about that, there's people that they just work a lot to get money to prove something. And at the end of the day, they just find out that everyone around them are with them because of what they can provide for them and not because of their accomplishments. And
Yeah.
that is very damaging for an individual. But at the same time, I think that the individual is partially responsible for making people feel that way. Like if you are this type of a prideful person that makes all these accomplishments and you have all these friends, think about it. Let's say something bad happens. How many of those friends are going to be there for you? Yeah, they didn't care about your achievements. They didn't care about your rise to the top. They just wanted to get the things that fell from the top. It's like, oh, I'm on the top. I'm spilling over here. Oop, and there's your friends in the bottom trying to catch some. And those are not friends. But again, like we talked in the first episode, there's men that just want to be alphas. They just want to be admired. And they don't care if their friends are real. They just care about someone that looks up to them. And that's not necessarily good all the time. Sometimes there's snakes looking up to you. And where does the snake bite? In your ankles, down there. So be careful. What are two things that if you had in your life would make you feel more fulfilled?
Oof. Okay, two things. These some packed questions. First, knowing I had God's approval for everything, for everything. It's a thing to do stuff, to have self-confidence, to move forward. It's another thing to feel like you have the approval of the one who overlooks your life. So it's sort of like a kid who's in the living room and, you know, he's doing something, but he looks back at his parents and get that okay. And it's like, oh, okay, now I can go forward. A lot of things hold us back in life because we second guess it. And the reason why we second guess it is because we're not sure that if we do what we're going to do, it's first of all going to succeed. And if we got the maker of the universe, the creator approval, because we know if he doesn't approve of stuff, most likely our plans fall through. You know, we beat ourselves up and say, I could have did that better. I should have done this. But if we had that approval and we knew ahead of time that everything I set my hand to is going to succeed, you know, that would be the way to go. And a lot of times, you know, a lot of things don't succeed. We take into accountability, or we feel like in our minds, you know, everything that comes to our heads is a goal. You know, everything that comes and pops in our imagination is something to do, something to take a leap at. And, you know, a lot of times, you know, it's not the case. And we don't know, you know, the right from wrong sometimes. So I think that approval would be, you know, a big one for me. I mean, I know money is a goal. I know having, you know, your family situated as a goal, bigger houses, bigger cars, but
so basically generational wealth.
Yeah.
Because
I
you're talking about money, but at the same time you're including your family and the future of your family. So you're talking about God's approval and generational wealth so that your family's taken care when you're not here anymore.
Right.
That's decent. That's decent.
That's well put. Wow. Those are, and after Lucky's answer, it's tough to answer, obviously. I think my life, as many people of my to say background that I have, had a lot of specific abrupt changes on their life. Me being Cuban, spending the majority of my life, 24 years of my life in Cuba, with a different system, a different culture, a different system, a different everything. Coming into here, and it's kind of like an abrupt change, right? And it's hard to say, oh, I would have had this, because your life changed, like literally you were born again, right? So you started. One of the things that I would have liked to have was just being originally, you know, having all these opportunities that I had now on, you know, my latest stages on my life. Maybe, I mean, I would have turned out differently. But I think we all have the right to the basics, and we didn't have that. We don't have that. I'm proud of half of for my baby. I'm proud of my brother to have for my nephew, and those are beautiful things that I wish everyone back there had. The second thing is knowledge. When you came here, you realize that you are outside, you're in a bubble. It's really very controlled, and you don't have a lot of possibility to be on the outside and watch things and inform you about things. And knowledge has been a big part of my journey because I had too much to learn and so little. I came here to be 25, and then I came to a different system. I learned about finances. I learned about software development. I learned about acting. I learned about everything. Is just so how you say that? It was a lot. It was a lot to take in. As I'm sure that is a lot to take in for everyone else that come from the same background that I have. It's hard for a lot of people. My respect to everyone that goes through that. I think knowledge and just the right to be on this country. I think it's a couple of things that I would have liked.
Knowledge is power. And one of the things that I've learned about knowledge is the more you know that you know nothing at all.
Assalamu alaikum on a different behavior because I know I'm a sinner. Because I know I'm a sinner. I could be Will, I could be Chris, I could be Still, I could be Push, I could be Healed. In order to look, you gotta be filled with all of his book.
What's stress to a mind?
So now if I say
When you dealing with
I'm in love,
broken
it just look like I'm
heart,
crazy.
fire burning your soul.
When Kevin Gates say we supposed to be in
What
love,
will
it
the
just look
void
like
when
he
it's
wavy.
torn apart? I can't no more.
Can't judge their lifestyle. I've had 3 children. Unright behavior.